I just have to get this out of the way. The video is not about the allegations, okay? I know, I was never taught what laws there were. There's like 500 other videos that you can watch talking about the same exact Reddit post that this whole thing started from. But the thing is that Boyinaband is a musician, but none of these videos ever really talk about his career as a musician on YouTube, which is what I want to talk about. If you recognize this guy with the funny long hair, you might know him for a couple of things. You know, like, he never knew what laws there were, yeah. But he was also a super frequent collaborator with a lot of popular YouTubers. And in general, Boyinaband captures an era of YouTube that we just don't really see anymore. His absence from YouTube, regardless of reason, has left a time capsule of content from the YouTube of yesterdecade. His last video was in December 2019. He has not uploaded anything since. But because of that, Boyinaband, or Dave, has had a weird place in the YouTube zeitgeist where, okay, I'll talk about the allegations. If you know Boyinaband, you know a few years ago he was accused of abuse and grooming. And if you don't know who he is, well, it's a bad introduction. Here's the thing though, he's effectively been cancelled, but the only piece of evidence that has ever surfaced about any of this was a single Reddit post. I'm not joking when I say that. It's the only accusation that has come out against him. I mean, it's the only evidence I could find, and believe me, people have done so much worse with so much more evidence, and they are perfectly fine on YouTube. But there is two reasons why Dave's accusations specifically blew up like an actual bonfire. One, he was already off the internet by the time these accusations came out, so he didn't defend himself. That also meant there was no damage control on his part, and they were just able to get out of hand really fast. Two, his most popular song had him say the line, "He didn't know what laws there were." I swear, this did more damage to his career than the actual accusations did. Like, the irony of this line existing if this guy did the things he did overpowered if he actually did them. Like, imagine the guy who said this along with some other poorly aged lines. Imagine if he was actually outed as a groomer.
Are you even 18? Well, never enough, man. What?
I mean, this might be like one of the most YouTuber ways to get canceled, is just having a song's lyrics warped against you. The irony is just too good. But that's also the biggest issue that I saw with this whole controversy, is that the most amount of evidence were just a bunch of Reddit DMs gossiping to each other. And you can go off on me for saying this, but if your biggest complaint about your ex-boyfriend was that he went and bought a bunch of microwave meals and the cashier humiliated you, that's just the cashier being an asshole. But the guy being accused just hasn't been on the internet in the last 4 years, except for this one song Wikipedia said he made, and oops, it actually doesn't exist, never mind. So at the time of recording, the accusations are just both real and not real at the same time. It's sort of a stalemate. It's sort of a Schrodinger's pedophile. Let me put it like this. Have I seen enough to think Dave didn't know what laws there were? No. I do think Dave actually did know what laws there were. However, I have seen enough that I hope he never ever returns on the internet. Let me get this straight. I don't want there to be any idea that I support Boyinaband in any way, but speculation can get out of hand, and that's exactly what happened with this. At the end of the day, they're still just accusations, and within 3 years, nothing else has surfaced. I don't know what the truth is. None of these YouTubers that talk about it know what the truth is. Only Dave knows, and he's gone forever, apparently. But separating art from the artist, or career from the allegations, he shaped such a large part of YouTube. And he was very influential in YouTuber circles, for better or for worse. And it does feel unfair that he has an entire career to talk about, but you can only talk about this one thing about him. But now that I have talked about it, I want to talk about everything else he's done. If you go to his channel and sort the videos oldest first, you'll see that he made a lot of tutorials. You want to know how to make a dubstep beat? Look no further. You want to know how to recreate Yeah by Usher? Also look no further. The only issue is that all of these videos are impossible to learn from because they're in 240p.
Okay, before I forget, let's name all these. That's the lead.
In these tutorials, he used a software called Reason, which I had to look up because I never heard of it. From what I could tell, it was kind of FL before FL, but it just kind of fell out of the favor of people who opted for more professional software or more accessible software. But apparently, it was very good at one thing: dubstep. That's right, good old-fashioned wub 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 dubstep. And as far as I'm concerned, there's still a very niche group of people who opt to use Reason as their music software just so they can make a specific type of dubstep dubstep that they can't make anywhere else. And you know who really liked dubstep? That's right, the guy who made Dubstep Sonic. As a matter of fact, over the course of a week, he would have these 7-day tutorials where every day he would gradually make a beat. And I learned that if I were born 16 years ago, there is absolutely no way I would have made music in any capacity, because the lengths he went through just to make a drum beat in this application is genuinely nightmare-inducing. There's probably an easier way to do everything he does in these tutorials now. Like seriously, if he made a dubstep tutorial now, it would probably take 10 minutes to do everything that Dave does in these 7 videos. I mean, even back then, there might have been an easier way to do this stuff, but I don't fucking know what it was. The biggest issue I had with this tutorial is when he got to the last day, mixing and mastering. Instead of showing you how to mix and master the track, he just used a preset.
Click the mastering suite and select one of the presets. I'm going to select hip hop.
So when I was following along with his tutorial to make my own dubstep beat for the video, I just had to mix and master my own track. But here's what it sounds like. Another thing I noticed with a lot of these early videos is that he said he was Dave from Boyinaband.com.
Hi, I'm Dave from Boyinaband.com, and welcome to day 1 of the Boyinaband 7-day song tutorial on dubstep.
Which implies that there's a Boyinaband website, but if you type in this link in Google, it just redirects you to his channel. So I went to Internet Archive to see what this website would have looked like if I were in 2008 right now. As a matter of fact, I found evidence of this website existing as early as December 15th, 2007. Jesus, 2007, that is a long-ass time ago. I mean, back then, Super Mario Galaxy was selling for full retail price. Now it's, okay, maybe a bad example, but it's a long-ass time ago. And we get to see a couple blog posts from Dave as a starry-eyed 20-year-old. Should I do this in a British voice? Fuck it. Yo! I've created this blog in order to express myself as anonymously as possible. I am a boy in a band. I don't see many people thinking like me. I genuinely intend to make it as a world-famous rock star. I've got to post off the latest t-shirt sales update on MySpace as I think it needs some serious tidying up and in general make the band a hell of a lot more organized. It always comes down to me. It's hard enough trying to find people to rely on, let alone the ones that are capable of playing their instruments, so I'll keep working my ass off while they kind of drift along. I'll be the one to benefit in the end. The front man always gets the recognition. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, that's a pretty delusional sense of grandeur and, oh my god, yes. But I mean, if you do want to make it as a world-famous rock star, you do have to have pretty unrealistic expectations. And I do think this blog post kind of plants the seeds of Dave's attitude in the future. I mean, he is 20 years old here, so there is a lot of main character syndrome, a big sense of entitlement, but he does have a sense of righteousness that I see in this blog post that he kind of carries on with his channel. And there's also another blog post here. Now would be a good time to introduce my girlfriend. Fuck! Okay, so we know Boyinaband was called Boyinaband because he was a boy in a band, but what band was that? More specifically, he was in a band called You and What Army. They made 2 albums, Dave wore a lab coat as a part of the branding, and they actually did garner up a lot of hype. They played a bunch of festivals before they broke up. If you look at this music video, that's a pretty big group of people for a band. And based off what I listened to from their albums, there's a lot of ambition. I feel like there was one too many influences they were trying to shove into one record. I mean, it didn't feel the most fleshed out, but I can kind of put that past them. Otherwise, I don't think I could make something sound more like 2012 if I tried. But I could hear the potential of this band, maybe if they toned down the voice glitching some. Anyways, they broke up, so that meant Dave was focusing a lot more on his YouTube channel since that was picking up a lot of steam. Okay, I know the band part in Boyinaband isn't that interesting. I mean, they won a Red Bull contest, so that was cool, but otherwise, it's just a band. And based off how Dave talked about this band, it seemed more like an obligation to him anyways. As you see the Boyinaband channel continue, you see the shift from just tutorials to him showing off his musical chops. And he made a lot more internet-centric stuff like
But yeah, you have her shoes, you have her gloves, you have the back, her bat wings.
He also had these vlogs that would talk about the naysayers of music, you know, people who say something isn't real music or shit on pop music or electronic, and Dave usually would defend most genres, which is actually a really healthy way to think, not just as a musician, but just as a creative, because if you want to make something, ignorance it's not gonna get you anywhere. And I kinda just pretty much agree with all of the takes he gets. That might just mean they're very agreeable takes, but I do agree with them, even if he does do them in the most condescending, millennial way possible. These rants definitely came from stuff Dave would see online, and it would bother him to the point that he felt the need to make a video complaining about it. You know, glad to know nothing's changed, and then he would immediately make a metal cover of K-pop, and it's the worst fucking thing I have ever heard. Here's the thing. Boyinaband represents my greatest fear as someone who makes stuff, because he's put in a ton of work. He has the ambition to want to be great. He has the right mindset to not fall into the mental traps that so many people do. He checks all the boxes to be great at what he strives to do, and he just sucks. He sucks. I hate his music. It's so awful. I mean, all of his music. He never got better. I hate his serious songs. I hate his novelty songs. I hate how he sings, how he raps, how he screams. While I was making this video, I literally wrote a list of insults for him. I mean, just ignore all the stuff for a second. He's just the most sauceless person I have ever listened to, and he's devoted his entire life to music just for me to say this about his passion, and that terrifies me. A lot of people I know, no matter how big or small, overthink their presence online, and they're scared of becoming a lolcow. But if we're being realistic here, you are way more likely to become the next Boyinaband than you are to become the next Chris Chan. I don't want to be a toxic person online, so I want to say stuff, even if it's mean, to have some sort of insight, but oh my god, it's so... all of it. Literally, everything I've heard. But again, I think what actually annoys me the most about his music and why I hate it so much is just that there is a sense of entitlement or righteousness to what he does. Like, for example, when he does something like Pop Song in a Day, I feel like he makes that because he genuinely believes he can make a pop song in a day.
Buy the song on iTunes so it can get to #1, because that'd be hilarious.
But I was thinking, okay, the catch is they make a pop song in a day. What is the process behind making this song in a day? And they just time-lapse through the entire thing. And you know what, as much as people miss old YouTube, as much as I miss old YouTube, this is something I don't mind being left behind. Because old YouTube videos, man, a lot of them just did not know how to pace their content. You know, we make fun of YouTube for being too brain-rotted or too long-winded at points, but there was a case back then for videos being too brain-rotted, because back then, instead of having monetization through watch time, you had monetization through views. So that just incentivized churning out shorter videos so you could get more views and more money. Because your production process of a song made in a day was entirely skipped through, and also your dubstep tutorial was split into 7 parts. I mean, obviously there were videos made back then that wouldn't be made today because there's no financial incentive. But come on, you blazed through the entire process, and that to me is more interesting. I know people just want to hear the song, but I want to see the process, even if it's in another video. I want to see how they did this song in a day. And you know why I want to know? Because the song isn't that good, and I want to know how they made it. Okay, more specifically, I just want to see how they mixed the song. Because every single song that he makes, it is mixed just like a brick. Because there's other songs, like I'm sure with this old band, there was someone else that went in and mastered the tracks. But when it comes to him balancing out the audio levels to make sure everything sounds good to the ear, it is way too loud. Because the 4 genres Dave prioritized on his channel were dubstep, metal, pop, and electronic. And those genres specifically require a molecular accuracy of mixing. Dubstep and metal get really loud really fast. Okay, here's the random Outkast song I was listening to while writing this. Like, I didn't choose this, it was just literally what I was listening to. Okay, you see how that looks? Alright, here's Boyinaband. You see... Do you see the discrepancy? Okay, as much as Skrillex was shit on back then, you know, he got epically owned in the epic rap battles. I cannot explain how difficult it was to make the textures that Skrillex had to be listenable in the first place. If you listen to the album he released this year, F You Skrillex, that might be like one of the most well-mixed albums I've ever heard. The production on that is absolutely insane. If you want to do like a fun minigame, go pause this video, pull up the Skrillex album, listen to it for a minute, then pull pull up Gent Step for a minute and just see how different they sound on some headphones. Also, here's a fun fact. Did you know Skrillex is actually younger than Boyinaband? Like, it's not by much, but he's younger. Pop Song Made in a Day shows another aspect of Boyinaband's channel, and it's that he did a lot, and I mean a lot, of collaborations. Specifically, the woman in this video is someone named Yila Beats. They're more of a musician, but sometimes he would collaborate more with YouTubers, especially later on. But because he collaborated with other YouTubers, that usually meant those collaborations were on other channels, so they're a lot harder to find rather than just having a central hub where one channel is. But he does have most of his collaborations on his Spotify page, so I just went there and then I went back to YouTube to search up every single song, like Battlefield versus Call of Duty rap battle, which honestly, it's always interesting to see something you missed out on as a kid that was very clearly a core memory for so many other people in your generation. He did a song with pre-FNAF Markiplier called Hello Monster.
Hello Slender, hello Slender. I just want to be a friend. Don't intend to offend. I don't want all the pages.
This is just a very vintage Tumblr song. You know, they want to fuck Slender Man. That's not what the entire song is about, but they want to fuck Slender Man, okay? You look at the Markiplier verse, alright, he wants to fuck Slender Man.
I want Slender Man to be my friend of man, and we can take a road trip in the Slender Van.
But I think this might be the most catchy Boyinaband song. It is the only song I listened to his where the melody was playing in my head after listening to it. The original video was uploaded by someone named the RPG Minx, and it was taken down. So there's a re-upload of the original version, but it has Japanese subtitles, or there's an animated version I found which is funny. I want to show that one. He actually did a few videos with the RPG Minx. I don't know who this person is. They're an OG Let's Player that doesn't crack 1,000 views on their YouTube channel anymore, so they're on Twitch. They stream on Twitch. But the most popular video on her channel is actually a Boyinaband collaboration as well called Murder. This is based off the Gmod game mode Murder that I've played a few times and it's pretty fun with friends, but making a song about it, I don't know. And oh my god, there is no way a song like this today could have 5 million views and not get shitted on relentlessly. This is the most like Jeff the Killer, Joker, I'm not sick, I'm twisted song I've ever seen. You know, like they're all trying to hold the knife and they're going, ooh, oh, I'm dangerous, oh.
One of us is gonna die. One of us is gonna die.
This isn't the worst song I listened to, but it absolutely gave me the most secondhand embarrassment. Like, I'm sorry, but everyone in this video is over the age of 25 and they're doing this. There's nothing wrong with unleashing your inner child once in a while, but there is something wrong with releasing your inner 14-year-old. There's one video he made in collaboration with Mashed about Xbox One versus PS4, and for some reason, the character they gave Boyinaband in this video is tanner than the person he's battle rapping against. I don't know if you've seen Dave in real life. He doesn't look like a Native American. He looks extremely looks like that. I don't know how to explain it, but like this is the type of video that I need to play on loop while I'm trip sitting someone. Listening to this song feels like I'm on the verge of subconsciousness. I've never felt fully lucid while listening to this song. Every time I try to think about it, it feels like a dream I had.
Xbox One has all the colors set around, just like a rainbow. Check that rainbow. Do you see brown?
No, I never noticed that.
Me either till just now.
Does that mean it's not a color?
No, of course it's still a color.
Also, the video has a ton of dislikes because they actually opted for a winner. They chose Xbox One over the PS4. And also the Doge is in this video before whatever happened there. And he also did a video with, oh no.
Pedophilia alert.
He also had some more consistent collaborators like Andrew Huang, who was known for videos such as Fast Rap 300 words in 50 seconds. And there was also Rumi, who was known for challenge videos such as Fast Rap 302 words in 50 seconds.
That's why I need a one dance, got Hennessy in my hand.
He also had a few collaborations with Dan Bull, and as for everyone else, they're probably in a different line of work right now. I didn't really concern myself with the proper timeline of these collabs, but all of these are between 2011, 2014. Okay, some other collaborations he did was a Super Mario Bros. Dubstep rap. The Mario Bros. Rap goes on for 5 minutes because it's supposed to be like the cypher. You have 4 artists, they all get their own verse, but they have like way too long of a verse. He did this with Dan Bull, the other lady that was in the pop song One Day, and a guy called None Like Joshua, who's known for doing rap songs of like animes. He did another collaboration with Boyinaband. Instead of doing a dubstep rap about Mario, he did a dubstep rap about Sonic. Yes, the Sonic dubstep thing that I jokingly brought up was actually used in a rap.
Look at this girl to defend the world. We gotta hit those springs like.
This isn't a collab, but Gollum versus Smeagol rap battle. I don't know how I missed this song. This is the funniest fucking song ever.
You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you.
I tried to play it for friends, and they lasted a minute and a half because he raps like Gollum for the entire thing. Technically, it revolves around the story of Lord of the Rings, but yes, Gollum raps for 3.5 minutes. There's one channel he did collaborations pretty often with. I forgot their name, but I'm gonna bring up Hot Dubstep Metal Girl. I actually have no idea what this is about. I forgot to listen to the song. Then there's the non-song collabs he did with Rumi and Andrew Wong, like an alphabetical 26 genre song where I have trouble counting this as a song. Like, it's on Spotify, but it's a song in the same way like 12 Days of Christmas is a song. Like, here's 26 5-second snippets of genres. And they did this twice. And he also did a song with Rumi where the joke is that Swedish people are really good at music. They're very good at the music that Dave really likes. They're really good at pop music because Max Martin is from Sweden and Dave from Boyinaband really likes Max Martin. And they're really good at metal. You know, Swedish songwriters. I forgot that was a joke. That was on the poster of, what's the Green Day? No Swedish songwriters. And then they caused the pandemic. I can't cover all the collaborations he did because they kind of get the same after a while. Oh, the collaboration he did with Dan Bull about Plants vs. Zombies was about Plants vs. Zombies. Oh, the Daisy rap battle Hero vs. Bandit is very similar to the Battlefield vs. Call of Duty rap battle. But I want you to know, I played all of these songs in front of people so I could get their reaction. And I also played 40 Years of Gaming by Dan Bull because it's the same animator as Xbox One vs. PS4. I played that like 3 times. But eventually Dave would balance the music on his channel with more vlogs, similar to the ones he was making where he was talking about music. But sometimes he wouldn't talk about music. He would go more into his personal life, his thoughts, his opinions, just whatever was on his mind. Take I Hated Music, for example. I know this is music related, but bear with me. In this video, he talked about his upbringing in Dubai and... what was he doing in Dubai? I don't know. I only found one other video he brings this up in, and he was just like, yeah, I was in Dubai with, you know, I was a white kid in Dubai. He probably wasn't doing anything bad himself. I'm just like, what was your daddy doing in Dubai, Boyinaband? Like, he definitely does not bring up enough details about his childhood in Dubai. Like, I don't think he ever explained why he was in Dubai, and I'm not gonna dig too deep into it. I'm not gonna try to pry anything that isn't there, but... well, Dave talked about his upbringing and his disdain for the education system. He used to be the smart kid in school, and he also brings up this oddly specific thing.
I had this eureka moment where I was sitting in the quad, and I was sitting at this bench, and I looked to my left, and I looked at all of these kids, and I thought, I don't care about any of them. And it was kind of a nihilist moment, and quite selfish, but... it wasn't really an emo kind of thing.
Which, that in combination with the blog post he made clearly tells me there's some sort of ego problem here, and that has intertwined with his depression and feelings of nihilism, but I'll get to those things later. Another thing that grinds the absolute crevices of my gears is how millennial his content can be. Like, yeah, Dave is a millennial, but he's also the stereotypical millennial. Like, when he's an atheist, he's not just an atheist. He's like in the most condescendingly owning the Bible type atheist. What the fuck does that say? I'm an atheist producer. I use logic and reason. Ugh. You're Reddit gold, sir. And he doesn't say fuck in his videos. He says frick.
It's a major depressive freaking head.
Which is just freaking wholesome, dude. Frick yeah, man. Millennials rule. We had the best games, the best music, and Red Supre is going to upload again. You know who's going to save the world? My freaking wholesome Elon Muscarino.
Instead of buying an island and carving his own face into it, the same year he started a company X.com, which, as we all know, is the most awesome letter of the alphabet.
To be fair, this was the Elon Musk 10 years ago when he was on the Big Bang Theory and not, fuck, man. But all the pieces were gradually coming together to create his opus. The music, the disdain for education, r/atheism. I'm talking about Boyinaband's breakout hit, Don't Stay in School. I talked about this song a little bit in my Fine Bros video, but yeah, the song's not that good. It's not good at all, actually. But the song sparked a lot of reactions and conversation, and honestly, it was in a good way. And it did it in a weird paradoxical way where if the song wasn't as poorly written as it was, I don't think as many people would have reacted to it. Let me explain with like Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 by Pink Floyd. This is a song protesting the education system, and it talks about how consistent abuse and discipline make students submissive and indoctrinated in society. Which is the same thing that Don't Stay in School talks about, except Pink Floyd says so much more with so much less. All in all, you're just another brick in the wall. It tells you everything you need to know, and it's a double entendre where it ties into the actual story of the album, but it also just says like these kids are just bricks to a wall. They're square, they're conform. I don't even know why I'm explaining this to you. You probably get that just from listening to it, but it just creates such a strong visual for the complacency that schools create for kids. And then the British kids start singing and it just completely ruins the song for me. Look, I know I'm in the minority here. I know how it works thematically and this and that, but I can feel their breath when those British children sing. It's gross. It's disgusting. It makes it unlistenable for me. I can't stand listening to those disgusting British children. I'm not even joking. I can't listen to this song more than like a minute long. Like, I'm sorry. It ruins the entire song for me. They sound fucking gross. But one of the issues with a song being this catchy and this concise is that the message can kind of just go straight through you. You know, I can listen and sing to the song without thinking about the message for a second. But then there's someone like Dave who cannot write a hook to save his life. And although it does create for a worse song, it also means that it is way harder to ignore anything he says. I was never taught insert important life thing here, but I was taught insert unimportant life thing here. That's the entire song. It's not very cinematic, but it's also the reason it was shared around a lot more, so it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's kind of the perfect song to be shared around because functionally it works more like one of those motivational videos that get pushed around on Facebook, because this song was also pushed around a lot on Facebook as well. Would this song have gotten 14 million views on Facebook if it were more like a normal song? No. And his actual appearance does a ton of the heavy lifting. This is the poster child of someone who would tell you to not stay in school. Combine that with the above average rapping ability where he can make punchlines about things. You know what? Classrooms can talk about that. I'm sure there's someone out there in middle school who had to watch this like 5 times in their classroom just as like a rhetorical analysis. I actually did have that happen to me, but instead of this song, it was the Gillette commercial that came out I don't even know how many years ago. Like, Gillette was trying to tackle toxic masculinity as a shaving company or something. Everyone in my class thought it was a fucking stupid commercial, but for some reason my English teacher thought this was the most thought-provoking thing a company has done in like 50 years. So we were forced to watch the commercial over and over and over and had to write an entire essay about what we thought about it. And I'm assuming someone had to do that, but it was for this song instead of a Gillette commercial. Did this song change anything about the actual education system? Probably not. My school experience was pretty shitty still. Okay, as much as my English teacher liked that Gillette commercial, she actually was a good teacher, shout out to her. But like, as for the actual system, the school system, I don't think Boyinaband made much of a dent, unfortunately. He made some other videos responding to hate comments, what other people had to say. Someone, like an actual school, talked about the song. He reacted to the Fine Bros video. And I do think he was initially going to go down this route of making socially conscious rap songs for antisocial teens, because a little bit after that, he made a song called Spectrum, which is not about autism. The song was actually about being gay, but you can't come out or your mom will kick you out the house. And again, the song has the RPG minks and oh no. I don't like the song, but it technically has a good message, so I can't get too mad at it. It probably helps someone somewhere through hard times, I guess. I don't know, the actual message of the song is like, your parents are homophobic, but you're gonna get through it. Just wait until you turn 18. I think that's the message of the song. I was actually, I'm not sure if the message of the song was that good. Let me check again. The only lyric that kind of makes me confused is the issue is temporary, so wait for one more day. Okay, if I'm being honest, the message of the song is, are your parents homophobic? Well, Just wait it out. You know what? There's probably better gay role models out there than Boyinaband. Now, after this point, there would be a long break between videos. It was mainly due to severe depression that basically just debilitated him to want to do anything, which is a very real thing. Specifically when you get a lot of success at once, you can kind of get cold feet. And that is something I can relate to. I had one good month on YouTube, and that was enough to put me in a quarter-life crisis. I can't even imagine what Dave was going through with a fucking 40 million view video. But it's like, when you succeed, you owe all your success to other people, but when you fail, all the blame is on yourself. I don't know, it's like being internally indebted to someone else just for existing, and self-improvement is this loan that you can never fully pay back. When you're talking about your emotions to someone else, you're actually using them, but when someone talks to you about their emotions, you feel like you're never doing enough for them. Sucks, doesn't it? You can never fully pay back your life enough to take full ownership of it until one day you just become bankrupt. That's what I at least think happened to Boyinaband, because he took roughly a year off the internet at the peak of his popularity, and when he came back, he made a song talking about his depression. Good message. It was made by Boyinaband. Then he gave like $10,000 to Scientology so he could be less depressed, and then it didn't work. Also, he has a sister, I guess. Now, Dave never really stopped being a musician on YouTube, but when he did return, he became much more YouTuber than musician. Like, he made more videos about general stuff that he was interested in. He would make videos about his emotions, and sometimes he would have beef with other YouTubers like Prince E. Okay, so Prince E is a rapper turned motivational speaker. I listened to a few of his songs, and he was definitely the guy who's here to save hip-hop archetype of rapper.
Hip-hop was dead, I was trying to bring it back too. Originality was doomed, cause everybody in their crew jumped on that auto-tune. I'ma make smart cool again. No gimmicks, all lyrics, no gags and no dance. Been in this game for years, it made me irrational. There's rules to the shit. Threw away the manual. Megan Fox, man, that girl is gorgeous. I must have broke the law in 8 states when I saw Transformers.
And also, what is he doing in this video? Why is he grabbing onto this child's head? Like, dude, come on, let go of the kid. He's just, what are you doing? But his actual rapping gradually shifted into like this slam poetry spoken word format about his emotions, because they got more views on YouTube, and Prince E gradually became more and more of a human LinkedIn post. One day he made a video called "You Are Not Depressed, Stop It." You'll notice it says 2025. He just updates his videos so they have the current year in them, so you'll click on them more likely. This video is almost a decade old, and back then people hated this video for a good reason. You can't just stop being depressed. Like, so Boyinaband did what anyone would do and made a video about it, and he basically just goes, actually depression is this instead. This is a clip from a Stanford professor. Like, obviously I agree with the things that Dave says because Prince E's an idiot, but like, he's so condescending about something that's like so obvious.
If you have to tell someone something is life-changing, then it probably isn't that life-changing.
And also, eventually he just starts running out of things to say, so he just resorts to gotchas.
You won't recall precious moments on the phone? I suppose you hated the moment you posed for this photo with Oprah, you hippie hypocrite.
Oh, what's that, Princey? You say taking pictures from phone is bad, yet you take pictures from phone? Hypocrite much?
Studies show the attention span of the average adult today is 1 second lower than that of a goldfish.
Like, it's stupid. It's stupid. This whole thing is pointless. Because I can tell you right now, just from watching Prince E's video, that he is completely bullshitting. To the point that he just kind of stops making sense after like a minute. And there's no amount of graphs or charts you can put in front of Prince E to make him make sense in this video.
See, imagine this remote control is depression. So you got you, and then you got depression. Depression comes, it goes, it comes, it stays for a while. It goes. But you are always here.
Okay, to give you an idea of just how little the effort Prince E put into this video was, if you look at his more popular videos, they have some degree of production that's designed to make the video feel more important than what he's actually saying.
There were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous and... Oh, you don't know much about trees, do you?
I love it. It's so perfect. It really is just the perfect way to say someone's chronically online. It's like, oh, you've never seen a tree before. You've never left your room.
Deltarune fans, count your days. But then you go to this video and he's just in a hotel room and grabs whatever items are around him. And not only is he recording this video in a hotel room, but if you look at the video he uploaded before this, it's in the exact same hotel room. And if you look at the video after this, it's also recorded in the same exact hotel room. That's how little he cared about what he was saying. He recorded motivational videos in bulk. Like, what was the video he made after his depression video anyways? Why school sucks. Wait a minute, you're telling me a person who wanted to be a world-famous musician didn't have what it took, so instead opted to use their rapping ability for novel videos criticizing broad social issues? Maybe Boyinaband and Prince C aren't that different after all. Also, both of these videos have insane like to dislike ratios. Truly a party divided and no one wins, we're all still depressed. Okay, if I had to guess, I think Boyinaband's dislike ratio is so high because Prince E's fans are pretty dumb. Like, I'm just saying, people who follow motivational speakers, they're gullible. I'm just saying, people who follow motivational speakers probably aren't the alpha in their pack.
And it is now thought that kissing is more important, get this, than regular sex.
I don't really trust someone who follows Prince E to be like a very critical thinking person. What's that? You said something bad about Prince E? Did you know if you double a penny for 30 days, you'll have more money than $1 million? Fuck you.
I'm sick enough to choke fuck your mom while I'm cock slapping your pops.
Okay, genuinely, I do think Prince E is like the most insufferable type of insecure person because his insecurity is impenetrable. Any type of criticism you throw at him probably has some sort of 5-minute lecture that works around every single flaw he has as a person. Like every single video he has just has the most basic iPhone bad type shit in it. The more we use technology, the less we become human. The food we eat right now is starving a pregnant woman.
It's easier to find a Big Mac than an apple.
Technology sucks so much, buy my $150 course please, thank you. He's hilarious to use out of context, by the way.
If you disagree with me, I'll kill you.
Wait, that's a clip. Anyways, Dave ends the video with a diss track, which again just really makes this feel like these guys are two sides of the same coin. And then a couple videos later, he talks about how his video was taken down by Prince E. I don't have anything to add to that. That's just the conclusion of the Prince E saga. It lasted a total of 2 videos. More than anything, the Prince E beef kind of reminded me of that blog post Dave made at the very beginning of his career. I know it's a younger version of him, but it's clearly someone that shows some sort of entitlement, and I don't really think that completely goes away. More than anything, the biggest similarity between Prince E and Boyinaband, and here's why I think both of their videos got so many dislikes, both of these people want to be perceived as smart so badly. If you look at an older video by Prince E, he's always putting his face beside someone like Jay-Z, or he's saying he's going to bring back rap. Like, Prince E wants to be perceived as smart by putting himself around smart people. But then there's someone like Dave, who also wants to be perceived as smart, but he does it through logic and reason. Like, the biggest holes Dave tries to poke in this video is that Prince E doesn't use facts or sources. But like, Prince E doesn't need to use facts or sources because he's taking his motivational speeches from like a more philosophical angle. Like, if Prince E is going to call a human a featherless biped, you can't just show him a dictionary definition of what a human is. You gotta go out to the farm, take a chicken, and pluck all its feathers out and show it to Prince E. Mainly because it would freak him the fuck out and I would want to see his reaction. Like, in the desperate pursuit for both of these people to seem smart, the whole argument stops being about depression. Like, halfway through Boyinaband's video, he just talks about Prince E's content being flawed. And don't get me wrong, it is. But Prince E did not get his credibility through facts. He got it because he wants to be perceived as smart, and vulnerable people actually do think he looks smart. So, you know, just throw a fucking turkey at his face. I don't know. And as Boyinaband continued on with YouTube, he talked about less and less music stuff and more just things he was interested in. And I don't blame him. You're more likely to be motivated if you talk about things you're interested in. He talked more about technology, what robots he saw, research articles he found, and mentioned the dangers of artificial intelligence 8 years ago. Although Dave interacted way less in music-centric circles, he found himself blossoming in other ones. For a brief period, Boyinaband collaborated with a handful of YouTubers with the goal of creating music for them. Normally, it was with the dynamic of, oh, this YouTuber doesn't know how to make music, let's help them make a song. Like, for example, when iDubbbz was making a content comp about Rice Gum, he wanted to fight fire with fire. Rice Gum was known for making these obnoxious diss tracks, so I'm gonna fight back with my own diss track. And that's where Boyinaband came in. Now, normally Dave would write, produce, be a jack of all trades to create the song, but this time he got someone else to do the beat and actually helped co-write the song with iDubbbz. And they were riding with the ambitions of creating a dope-ass rap. Which honestly, I do think this was the best application of his musical talent, was just being Rick Rubin for YouTubers that didn't know how to make music. It's very specific, but it actually ended up working pretty well for him and the YouTubers. You know, just make them feel good enough to have the confidence to make the song. Listen, I know Asian Jake Paul is not that good of a song. It is one of the most you had to be there songs I've ever listened to, and when I go back to it, it's not very good. But I have way too much nostalgia bias to like look at the song rationally. I will never hate the song, but I understand what I hear and what you hear are going to be two different things, like two completely different things. Like if your first time listening to the song is in 2025, it is horrible. And it's extremely smug too. Like when iDubbbz is rapping the song, I feel like he thinks he's a better rapper than Rice Gum, which isn't saying much, but it is saying enough. Jesus Christ, you're as predictable as a house tour. He does have better wordplay than Rice Gum. Rice Gum's an idiot. Seriously, this guy was so obnoxious in every conceivable way. I don't even know what he's doing now, probably showing off his fucking hype beast merch to some homeless guy. What does his Wikipedia even say? His child was stillborn. And he did 3 other collaborations that were in a similar fashion that absolutely blew up every single time. After Asian Jake Paul, I think there was another break he took on YouTube, but after that, he did a song with Jaden Animations called Empty, and I think Jaden removed this video off YouTube because of the Boyinaband allegations, which, if I had a nickel every time Jaden did that. This one's a little bit of a heavier topic because instead of epically owning influencers, it was about eating disorders. Again, it's a similar thing like so many other Boyinaband songs where it has a positive message, it brings awareness to eating disorders to a very young audience, which is very positive. Like, he just does not have a good song, does he? But unlike making a song in a day, he actually went through and made a behind-the-scenes video. And it showed the process of how these songs got made, because people do want to see that. They want to see their favorite YouTubers try to do something different and document the process along the way, and oh no. I actually don't remember if I talked about Life is Fun in my Odd Ones Out video. I might have missed that. I missed talking about his most popular video. I don't know if I did or not. I don't remember anything I said if I did mention it. I think the song is harmless enough, though I do think Dave plays his part a little too well as a pessimistic jerk who shuts down James' optimism whenever he can. I know it's with the intent that he's a killjoy, but he actually does start getting on my nerves like halfway through the song.
I could be a rapper or an animator if I'm lucky.
Neither of those will make you happy, trust me.
Like, just shut the fuck up. Being so fucking negative all the time, you jerk. I think it's a fitting song for the Odd Ones Out, fitting for his kid audience. I don't have much to say about the song otherwise. There's probably an older sibling watching this right now that got completely abused by their younger sibling that would play this on repeat, but it's his most viewed video. And then there's the biggest one of all, Congratulations by PewDiePie. This song is a small footnote in a much greater history regarding PewDiePie and T-Series and the fight to become the biggest channel on YouTube. Out of these 4 songs, this one's probably the best. I actually don't know how to measure the quality of these songs. I just like Felix's personality. Like, even though he's the most subscribed channel on YouTube, he doesn't take that number that seriously, but his passive aggressiveness is fun. I know people criticize PewDiePie for being xenophobic towards India, and I just don't think people actually care. I know people use this excuse all the time that, oh, the internet was a different place back then, but like literally every single person on the internet, regardless, was edgier on the internet back then. Like, yeah, did some people cross the line a little too much back then? Of course, but is criticizing the caste system crossing the line? No. Oh my god, guys, PewDiePie shitted on Indians 8 years ago. What are we gonna do? Oh my gosh, like, Who are you fighting? He is in Japan right now catching butterflies with his child. Boyinaband is just like this really connected person in YouTube lore because all of these songs have more views than Don't Stay in School. Like, he contributed to James's most watched video, PewDiePie's most watched video, and then the other two are not on YouTube anymore, but they were probably the most watched. And his behind the scenes videos also got like 10 million views each. Other videos he was making got 1 million views a pop as well. And he still had some other viral videos like Fast Rap, 301 words in 50 seconds. Truth be told, Boyinaband is a good glimpse into what YouTube looked like before COVID happened. I know it's weird to say, but it's really true. So much has changed in the last 5 years of YouTube. When you look at Boyinaband, everything is just of a bygone era. I really don't have much to say about the last few videos Boyinaband made other than the fact that Corpse Husband was in one of his last videos, who is also infamously missing from the internet, but he also didn't threaten to take his own life on his community tab. Yeah, before Dave completely went off the internet, one of the last community posts he made, actually the last one he made, was clearly indicative of some sort of mental breakdown. This post in particular was made at the tail end of 2020, so I do think being in lockdown got to him to some extent. Like, he wrote some stuff that was clearly indicating some sort of mania, or at least not being in the right state of mind. On Twitter, he was talking about how he didn't wear ear protection during hundreds and hundreds of concerts when he was with You and What Army, and basically was just indicating that he had some sort of hearing damage, which honestly does explain a couple things, but you know, it's bad. It's a bad thing to have. Like, just seriously, take care of your ears. Obviously, take care of your mental health too, but like, your ears, they're so precious. Don't worry about looking like a pussy if you wear hearing protection during a concert. Just do it. You know, like, how much louder do you need the music to be? Wear ear protection. Precious. Precious little things. If this is what Dave's state of mind looked like right before he left the internet, I don't think allegations coming out 1 year later did anything to help his state of mind. Like, he has just been radio silent. There's not a peep of him anywhere, any place, anytime. And honestly, regardless, it's just kind of a lose-lose. Because on one hand, I don't think someone has gotten their reputation damaged more than Dave simply because he also had a few lurks that could be taken out of context. But on the other hand, if he did come back to the internet, he would have to acknowledge this thing. Like, this is the only thing people have talked about regarding him in the last 3 years.
Boyinaband, like they said, found some shiny new people and ghosted them, and they're pissed off. I've had this happen to me.
Every time I told someone I was making a Boyinaband video, the first thing they said to me was, oh, he didn't know what laws there were. Is Dave guilty? Innocent? I don't know. There's only been one Reddit post accusing him, and Dave just doesn't exist anymore. Kind of reminds me of Neil Gaiman, if I'm being honest. Honestly, it's absolutely for the better that he is not online anymore. The internet was clearly not helping his mental health at all. And he had a pretty big channel, so if he has enough money to retire, maybe he's just retired. I did make this video with the intent to talk about his music, but honestly, he didn't make a lot of music after 2015. I guess he did a Harry Potter on epic rap battles of history. It's honestly fair to assume he just fell out of music, or the algorithm pushed him to do different things. And honestly, if he was just remembered for his music, I probably wouldn't have made a video about him. So much of his music is just too novel to care about in the first place. If I'm being honest, Boyinaband is a talented person, but it's just not in music. He was a lot better at marketing himself, finding trends, being able to keep up to date with what was current on YouTube. Like, yeah, is there an alternate timeline where he very well could have been a highly successful musician and become a huge rock star? Maybe, but his path on YouTube was actually kind of unique. He didn't just dabble in music, he engaged with a lot of communities. He wasn't just a music YouTuber like Andrew Huang. He delved into video game territory and helped make a lot of original rap songs about video games. And later on, as that stuff went out of fashion, he interacted with a lot of commentary YouTubers, and that was pretty adaptable. Just thinking about it, if I made a video about the people he collaborated with, they wouldn't nearly get as many views as him. He's just way more marketable. And I'm not just saying that because of ho ho ho, no, like, he made a video where he grew a beard, that got like 2 million views. He made a video talking about his hair, that got millions and millions of views. He was just able to brand himself better as a YouTuber than as a musician. Like, what the fuck can I say about the RPG Minx or Oliver age 24? Who the fuck is this guy? Like, Andrew Huang has about the same subscriber count, but the only thing I can talk about is his second most popular video because it looks like this. This thumbnail looks demonic. His eyes look almost entirely black, not in a racist way. The video isn't subversive immersively scary. He just looks like this in the thumbnail. It's terrifying. What's the title of the video? Pink fluffy unicorns dancing on rain? That's great. That's great. Yeah. God, please let me break the cycle. But yeah, I think just for his own sake, he should never return to YouTube. He should never return to YouTube. Whatever he's doing now, it's clearly doing better for him. He hasn't died. I don't think he's died. Surely he's not still doing the red streak. Like, he probably still has long hair, but is he still doing that? Dave, if you're watching this and you still have like that colored streak on your hair, just change it. You know, you're 38, you know, just calm down some. Hopefully Dave looks physically better than Wilbur's suit right now. Actually, you know what? I have things to talk about on my actual channel. I might stream on Twitch. I don't know. I need some consistency in my life. I think Twitch might be all right. Like, if I do decide to stream, I'm going to shoot for 3 to 5 p.m. CST, which is 4 to 6 p.m. EST. For the people in California, that's 1 to 3 p.m. PST. And for the rest of the world, I don't know. Just figure it out. I don't know what it is over in the British. In Japan, I don't know what it's like there. I might stream. I'm just using this as an excuse to plug my Twitch so I can get more followers on there. I don't know. Should I stream when this is uploaded? It'll immediately make this part of the video dated. I don't care. I gotta go. I gotta pee-pee.